Hi, this is Raul Rene Gonzalez. For the past few years, I've been making paintings and drawings that depict how I balance being an artist and stay-at-home parent. Join me for a behind-the-scenes look at a new body of work that'll feature 6 artist parents throughout Texas. For this new series, I'm switching from acrylics and drawing materials to using oil paints for the first time. To get this series started, I got a new studio at Clamplight Studios and Gallery. First things first though, I had to get some stretcher frames and start stretching out that canvas. Since I'm working with oil paints for the first time, I wanted to lay down several layers of gesso before I even got started painting. That way I knew for sure that all the colors I laid down would be nice and rich and vibrant. The next step is gridding out each canvas. Each canvas is 30 inches by 40 inches, so I gridded out each one using a 5-inch grid pattern. I also have a black and white printout of each image I'm painting. I printed each photograph 6 inches by 8 inches, that way I could use a 1 inch by 1 inch grid system that'll match up with the canvases. Once I got most of them gridded out, I went ahead and started sketching out the first photo. The first image I'm working on is a portrait by Anthony Francis. The image is of him and his family, his wife, and his 3 daughters. After sketching out that image, before I started any painting, I started sketching out another one. The reason I start another sketch is because I want there to be multiple paintings I can work on at the same time. Now that I have 2 images sketched out, I can start painting. For this collaboration with the artists, I asked each one of them to create or come up with an image that would represents how they see themselves balancing their role as a parent and as an artist. Again, the artist featured in this painting that I'm working on is of Anthony Francis, who is based here in San Antonio. He is a portrait photographer, writer, and educator. Some of the themes that run through Anthony Francis's work are universal humanity, vulnerability, family, peace, and love. Once I get a painting to a certain point, then I leave it as is and jump to the next one. That's the process I used when I was working on these 2 paintings. I just kept going back and forth. Oil paints are entirely new for me, so using this process really helps me out because I can kind of give myself some leeway as opposed to rushing in and making mistakes when I don't really need to. Featured in this painting is visual and performing artist Julia Barbosa Landua, who lives in Houston but is a native San Antonio. For these first 2 paintings, I'm kind of taking it slow and laying down some base colors to start them out. Once I have several of the paintings in progress, then I'll go back and detail them all out nice and slow. Featured in this work is Julia Barbosa Landua. She got her master's at UTSA and her work deals with subjects like gender, religion, ecology, and power. I did some of the sketching in my home studio, but kept all the oil painting to my new one. My daughter spent a lot of time in my studio, so getting a studio away from home was absolutely necessary. Now that I have two more sketched out, it's time to paint again. The third painting I'm working on features mixed media artist Matt Manolo. He's originally from the Philippines, but at a young age moved to Houston with his family. Matt and I went to undergrad together at University of Houston. The painting features Matt and his son looming together at an outdoor event held at the A-Leaf Art House, which is an alternative art space that Matt runs. With this third painting, I started to feel a lot more comfortable with the oil paints. I think painting the trees and the ground really gave me some freedom with being able to use a variety of brushstrokes and gestures when laying down the paint. In addition to running the A-Leaf Art House, Matt is also the founder of the Filipinx Artists of Houston. Being a first-generation immigrant, Matt discusses his experiences navigating around the physical and social structures of society through his artwork. This seems like a good stopping point on this painting. The fourth image I'm painting features Amber Ortega, who is a native of San Antonio. She is a choreographer, educator, and her work deals with relational aesthetics and movement. For Amber's image, she decided to collage some photographs together. For this painting, I'm doing the same as the others. I'm laying down base colors before I jump into the details later on. I have two more paintings that I'll get started in the next few weeks. Those two will feature Sarah Vanderbeek from Austin and Robert Hodge from Houston. Over the next couple of months, I'll finish all 6 paintings and get them ready for a solo show for next year. In addition to completing the paintings, I'm also going to put together some bios about each artist so you can learn more about them as well. To stay up to date and see the finished pieces, follow me on social media. Peace.